Thank you for joining today. And we've been having a wonderful time. I don't know about you, but this course, as I've been doing it myself as well, I've been part of doing this course has actually been part of me pouring my oil in in the things. Yeah, so it's been good for me. It's been good in that way. And we are gonna shift. So over the last few weeks, we've done a bit. We've looked at the fact that you know what, you have oil in your house. You've got oil in your hand and what you're carrying. We've looked at the fact that you've got levers. You've got to leverage something. Various levers. We've identified what your levers are, but at the end of the day, you can find yourself, you've got oil, but you still are stuck. Yeah. Have you noticed that? Still can't move forward. And so I thought the next best way to progress is to actually look at some enemies that we may have. So 3 years ago, I wrote a book, which took me 3 years to. I seem to have a cycle of 3 years in researching, sitting, writing a book until it was like, okay, it's time to write it. Bam, off to the publishers as it went, and the title was Promised Land Prosperity, and it's all about entering into your promised land, whatever that looks like. Everyone's promised land is different. And the analogy that I used was Joshua taking the children of Israel into the promised land. There were enemies already in the land, the Hittites, the Hivites, the Amalekites, the Jebusites, all of those ites. And of course, the instruction that they got from God was don't leave any of them enemies hanging about. Yeah. Get rid, get rid, get rid. And there's some that they didn't destroy, and it came back to bite them later. They had to live with them, right? So I started studying out internal enemies that we have. So to get to a place of accomplishing anything that we want to accomplish, we need to take action. We need relationships around us. We need, to plan. We need to make good decisions, sound decisions. And so there are 13 key enemies that I discovered and put in this book. What happens the week I sent it off to the publisher to say, hey, let's get this book out there? Israel and Gaza conflict starts. I'm like, oh my God. So there I was wanting to retract. I was like, no, I can't talk about this now. It looks like I'm pro war, because this is it, possess the land. And that was not the intention. I was giving the analogy, but to say, hello, there is a land that is waiting for you, your promised land, what that looks like for you. And so the temptation was to not publish it and leave it, right? And so I never really made any adverts about it, didn't really talk about it. So I've known about it. So every time I'm thinking, yep, the enemy of fear has really crept in here. Oh, there's procrastination rearing its ugly head. Ah, we can see double mindedness. And I go through this a lot with my clients when they want to buy a house, and, they've been renting for ages, and, it takes a lot to gather the deposit and everything. And then they find the house that they want and they think, okay, you know what, let's go for it. And then suddenly they look at all the payments that you now need to make as a homeowner, and you're thinking, is this such a good idea? Renting is safer, it's better. And, to possess the land, I always say, literally in that sense, purchasing a property, there's usually one or two fights that come up. There's, some issues with the land, some issues with, the exchange being delayed. The lender wants all sorts of other extra requirements, the source of deposits, they're questioning where that's come from. And all these are sort of, it's a warfare situation. And you could sit there and think, let me just leave it. I don't think it's the time for me to do it now. Right. And so half the time I keep saying to them, I say, listen, I can only help you cross if you want to cross. A double minded man cannot receive anything. Do you want to get to the other side? If you want to get to the other side, I'm prepared to get my energy to say, let's go, let's answer the questions, let's find the solutions, let's put the things in place that need to be put in place. So giving that example of purchasing land, buying property, you know, it's a similar case to anything else that we want. Whether you want to get married, whether you want to have children, whether you want to purchase property, start a business, you have got some actions you need to take. Whether you want to redo your garden and decorate it, you need to put some money aside. You need to, you know, do your Pinterest board. You need to start gathering the materials. You want a minimalistic home, like I want a minimalistic home. With all the stuff I have to get down and say, right, I don't need this, I don't need this, I don't want this. So the actions that we need to take. Um, and so today we're just going to start to look at, you know, how has this particular enemy, how is it stopping you from now taking the actions that you need to take to get to the other side? Because there's another side that's waiting for you. And I'm going to close it with a guided meditation where we are just going to see ourselves in our promised land. So I want you to pick your top three things that you're saying, you know what, these are the things I really want. And then we're going to zone in on one thing that you've just been for the longest time procrastinating on. Yeah. So you go on. Bigger. Okay. You can't see the big one. Okay. Let's see what I can do. Okay. Mm, sorry. I know it's this side here. Yeah. Not sure what I can do about that here. Sorry, my lovely. I will send you the slides afterwards. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay. All right. So, you do not defeat what you keep excusing. Yeah. You keep planning, planning, planning. The planning books. How many of these diaries have you written? So many plans. Oh, I'm writing a book. I'm writing a book. Never get to publish it. You know, never get to actually test your business idea, never get the ship sailing off the seashore. You know, you work on low stake admin to avoid the high stakes of execution. You need one more confirmation before taking the next obvious step. Remember, we talked about how you're here. This is the show, your life show. You're only here once. And time is that currency. You're not getting that back. You can't get back the 15th of July. It's gone. It's half got, you've got 4 hours, 3 hours left to it. But it's not coming back. And what you have not done that you were supposed to do, you're going to have to catch up somewhere later on, right? God is good. He can release grace, supernatural strength to catch up, to overtake. And I pray that that is released even as we do this. But where is this pattern actually costing you the most right now? Because it's an unseen cost. Not taking action is an unseen cost because you don't actually think, well, you've done anything, but you're missing out on the life that you could be living had you done the things that you could have done. So, give you an example that I spoke about earlier to say minimalistic decluttering. Just decluttering one room, whether it's the kitchen or your bedroom, straight away, the clarity of thought you have when you do that, you're like, wow, honestly. So, imagine a week of clear thoughts, unhindered with a lot of clutter. You know, you can see where everything is. Imagine the you don't have to think, oh, I need more sellotape because you've got 10 stacks of sellotape already in your house, but you can't see them because they're hidden in a mist, and then it's not organized. You see what I mean? So there, those are hidden costs that are costing you of not taking action. And then when we talk about the bigger stakes, what are the costs of not starting that business that was going to give you the time freedom that you want? How many more times are you going to watch people on Instagram and think, oh, I want to go on that holiday. Oh, lucky them, and yearning. How many times are you going to sit in your office having taken a 3 hour train commute or and thinking, gosh, it's only four, and then I have to rush and pick up the kids, and now it's almost time for grandkids, and you're still in the same pattern, and you don't like it. There's some people who enjoy it, but you don't enjoy it. You want a different life. If you don't design the life that you want to live, it's not going to come knocking on your door. So there is a price that you pay. We all say we want a good retirement, but if you don't put away when you're young and you're still working, retirement will come and it won't be as good as you want it to be. Yeah. I want to be healthy and fit. I want to be walking. I want to go hiking. I gave an example last year when I hurt my ankle. Just a small thing. I thought, whoa, girl, get yourself into the gym, do some weights. Weight training ain't good, but it ain't fun. But I need to muscle strength. I'm losing muscle strength. If I want to be a fit 60-year-old, 70-year-old, 80-year-olds, I've got to put the time in. I have to take that action. It's not going to happen by osmosis. It's not going to happen by dreaming. There's some physical action that we have to take. I can watch all the videos of exercise I like. I can watch all the athletes. None of them are coming to move my body for me. Yeah. So, avoidance, these time leaks. What is the cost of tolerating that enemy in your land? Because it's your promised land is right there for you. But procrastination and double mindedness are staying there. They're the giants that are waiting in your land. Yeah. So, oh, I almost got it. How many times have opportunities come your way? You meet someone on the train, at a conference, in a place, and the things that they're talking about, it's along the very things that you have wanted. And they say, oh, I'm just looking for someone who can do this, this, this. And you're thinking, oh, I can do that. Had I started that business, that's exactly the solution. But you're not there. You've not started it. It's not, the conversation can't go any further. The gift is still unhidden. It's still unpaid. It's untested. You can tell people, oh, I can do this. But when people are looking at you, they want something they can run with. They want a product that they can drink. I'm thirsty today. Give me a bottle of water that I can say, oh, how much is that? Let me buy it. Open, drink the product. But you have not packaged it. It's still stuck in branding stage. You've branded until you've branded and you've branded again until the brand is even outdated, right? So, yeah, we talk about I have faith to move mountains, I can do this, but when the rubber meets the road, show me your faith. Sometimes you don't even need to talk about your faith. People just see the things you do and you say, whoa, I've not seen faith like this before. Actions. Yeah. And these are the currencies that I mentioned at some point, saying these are your, because sometimes we use money as an excuse and say, oh, well, I don't have the money to start the business. Yeah, we need money. That's true. Money is important. I don't have the capital. That's a fair fact. But there's the rich currencies that you wake up with every day, your account loaded with. The first one is time. Have you got everything that you can get without extra resources to where it can be? Have you placed yourself, if you don't have the relationships around you for what you want, have you intentionally placed yourself in those places where you can have at least even conversations related to what you're looking to do, right? If you want to catch a tilapia, you're not going to find it in the fish pond, right? It's not going to be there. Yeah. So, are you? Have you done your research to say, okay, let me hang around governors, let me hang around people in education. I want to start a school, I want to start an education facility. Let me find out what the needs are. Let me find out, what are the latest things that are coming up. Let me hear how I can come in with my product as an alternative with a cutting edge. How can I sharpen my USP in the area I want to get into? Your gift, skills, and talents, you already have plenty that you can do. Do what you can do. No one company have you ever seen the CEO doing the cleaning, doing the washing. The rest, they will come to you. You know, be good at what you're good at. And then faith is then, do you believe? Really be, do you believe in yourself? Because I think half the time that's the problem. We actually don't believe in ourselves. So you got to ask yourself, do I believe in myself? Do you know what? I'm recording here. Hi, Goza. Just bear with me 1 minute. I think I forgot to record on here as well. No, it's recording on the screen, but not on the school thing. But I'm sure I'll be able to. Yeah, but that's fine. Yeah. So you really need to start to be a bit ruthless with yourself to say what is it that is stopping me from taking action? Can I afford not to do it? Can I afford to have another conversation of I want to do this, I'm thinking of doing this, and not actually going for it, right? So if we look at the pattern that the woman with the widow with the oil did, she actually recognize the oil, which a lot of us have done, to say, I've got grace on this. I can do this. I've got capacity. I have a passion. I've done my research. She borrowed the vessels. And before she went out, she identified the neighbors who she could go and knock on their doors. She knocked on the doors. She followed the instructions. She got in, she poured the oil. After she poured, she went and she sold it, because sometimes we get to the good extent of actually creating the product and it's there in front of us. I have these girls in them who are making these handbags, This is one of the latest ones. Imagine, look at this gorgeous handbag, handmade. You've made it, you've taken your time, you've believed that you can, you've taken your time. But now you need to go and sell it, because you've invested your money, you've invested your time into creating the product, but now we need a sale to go through. Yeah. And after she got the money, she was so focused. Her issue was a debt problem. Because sometimes we get the money, but we don't deal with the problem that we got the money for. So she went and then she paid off the debt and then had some. So this is a pattern that we can see. It's a cycle that we know to do in the things that we're comfortable with, but with this thing that we're building, can we see where we are? Are you still in observation stage? you know you know the instruction now, you've done your research, you know what you need to do. Have you taken the action yet? Have you gone to market to test? Do people want this? Is this designed right? Are the ergonomics perfect for this? Because if you do all of that, you will come back, you know, with a testimony. And sometimes the testimony was, well, yeah, it took me 16 hours to sell it. It took me 3 months to get a breakthrough. I was approaching the wrong clients. I was looking at the wrong people. But the minute I took it to Dubai, the minute I did this, we only have to look at even companies like Zoom. They were in the market, they were doing okay, but it just took a pandemic for them to blow up. Today, we're zooming everything. You know what I mean? Um, so, what arc have you got to build, or are you still contemplating building it? Because a flood is coming, but will you be ready? You know, I'm even looking at, some of the political situations that are happening around the world right now, where there's a whole load of people. I heard that there's 11,000 children, in the recent moves back to home countries, that need that are unschooled, that need places for school, and schools were already in shortage. you know so somebody was supposed to build a school, but it's not there. The flood has come, and there's no the overflow, the abundance is here, but there's no silos to catch it, right? So remember, today I want us to look at the cost, the price of procrastination and double-mindedness. Yeah. Last week, when we were looking at you know pausing and resetting and looking at an alternative, something that Sarah Blakely did. She created Spanx, right? She was just trying to look at something to smooth out her body, but her clothes underneath, whatever she was wearing. Cut off some tights, did some research, thought, hey, this works. Took it further, and now Spanx multi-billion company, you know what I mean, that she's since sold. She's got freedom from that, but she's still a shareholder on there, you know. So there's a level of freedom that you're yearning for that is waiting for you to take certain actions and position yourself. It'll never come until you do what you need to do. So today I want us to just name that action that will change the game for you. What is the thing that you actually need to do? Yeah. Because we have thoughts, we have ideas. Is it that you just need to narrow in on one area you're going to go for? Is it you need to put yourself out there? You need to do your MVP, start testing out, do a survey, you know, um, get a group of friends and say, guys, I'm doing a survey. I want to understand, is there a need? Is there a market for this product? How much would you pay for it? Yeah. That little evidence that gives you a glimpse of hope to say, yes, this works. This I should go for this. Yeah. And then next week we're gonna be when we get back here together, we're gonna literally be saying, what have you done? Because yeah, we have to move forward. This enemy in our promised land of procrastination, of double-mindedness, it's got to go. It's robbing us of so much. Does anyone want to share for themselves what that one action that you think will change um, the story for you is? Anyone? Just one thing that you need to say, listen, I'm taking a step forward. This means I'm going ahead. I'm not turning back. Because we can, like I said, we can spend a lot of time in a lot of admin and never actually test it out. I know there's something that for years I've been saying, "Oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this." But this year I've started moving forward. I'm like, nah, okay, you know what? Because even as I've been watching, I've seen other people who are not even in the field, in the game. They're literally starting to do that thing that I wanted to do. And I'm like, haba, shadalabaha. You know what? I've talked about this for too long. I've dwelt on this mountain for too long. It's time for us to step in. Yeah. So I want to ask you, do you guys have something that you're thinking this is what's going to change the game for me? Because we want to use that now. I'm just going to do a very short guided meditation with you, where I want you to just see yourself in that promised land, having followed right through the loop. And I want you to be conscious and sensitive how you're going to be feeling when that happens, you know, who is around you, what is now possible for you now that you've done what you need to do. Do you think we can do that? Yeah. Sorry? You're kind of lost. Yeah. Mm, 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 mhm, mm, mhm, 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 mm, mm, mhm. Yeah, yeah. And I understand that very much, what you're saying. However, I'm also thinking last week you missed last week's session, isn't it? I think. Yes, and then you missed that one. Good, good. Yes, last week it was the review before the pivot. So if you can go and listen to the session last week, you'll find that really useful because I think it's actually very prophetic in how it's moving because we looked at someone like William Wrigley. William Wrigley went, it was 1890, he was selling baking powder and he would throw in some bubble gum as a thank you, right? But actually, it was the bubble gum that was the thing that was going to make the money, right? So he only had realized that people were buying the baking powder because they wanted the gum afterwards. So he's like, hold on, why can't I sell the gum? And started different flavors, spearmint, etc. So sometimes when something changes in your atmosphere, you are right to pause to review, but the pause doesn't necessarily even mean that you have to wait so long because of location. The idea is ripe. It might just be like, hold on, look over there. The example I've just given you, I think there's 11,000 children out of school who've just come from South Africa in Zimbabwe who are looking to be placed in schools. You're a teacher. You know how to set up an educational facility. Do you know what I mean? Like you have certain things. I'm not saying that going, you know what I mean, but there's certain things that there's such a big demand. You're well poised and positioned. You know, all you need to know is who's gone back. Guys, I'm setting this up for you. Boom, there. And that could be something. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Yeah. And the idea that you had, it's not that yeah, it's not right for this particular market, but could it be right for another market? You know? So it's that pause in that moment is a good thing, but it's an opportunity to pivot rather than stagnate and say, wow, that didn't work out. Right? So because time is not stopping for anybody. I often look at markets, every day can be a good trading day. When markets go down, it just depends on your position. So it's about you taking the position based on what's happening to say, you know what, we're in a very volatile climate. I'm gonna take a hedge position that this is likely to happen. And you can read based on your experience, on your that inner voice that speaks to you based on your space. There's things that you will know to say, this is where we're going with this, and you just take a position that is advantageous for that. Does that make sense? Yeah, yeah. It's not negotiable. No, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah. No, it's fire on the mountain. Mm, 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 mm. Mm-hmm. 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 Fantastic. 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 So I'm going to go through this session with you. And I just want you to let me just play a little bit of music here. Mm, yeah, 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 yeah. So, mm, yes. So there's something that I was. I'm gonna send you a test to do, a gifts test to do, Judy. Something I was having a conversation with one of my sisters the other day, and she said, "Oh, you don't want to end up being the person who's always just giving people your ideas, and they take them and they run with them and they make good of them and stuff." And I said, "Yeah, I hear that, but it's also important when you understand your purpose. Remember when we talk about the seat that you sit on. So for someone like myself, I mean, I don't think my ideas will ever run out, to be honest. I am an ideas bank. So actually, what the error would be is that I've not positioned myself as an ideas bank because I should be paid for the ideas that I create. You get what I'm trying to say? So it's that consultancy role of sorts, where you create a service where you fine tune people's thoughts into a marketable idea. I actually saw an app the other day, where some girl has created that. She's created an app where she says, okay, what market do you want to do? And it quickly does all the research for you to say the market is this saturated. Your idea has a 6 out of 10 chance of making it. This is the amount of money that's available. So it's an app. And I thought, this is fantastic. People need this. So you could do similar things somewhere along the line. You know what I mean? You might just be someone who gets the ideas, and that's just it. Downloads after downloads. And I find that the more I give the ideas, the more come. It's like I give one, 10 more come, and I'm like, whoa. So you need to position yourself. This is why I think I want to say I love people, because I'm like, okay, I just want good people, because I don't want, there's some people who are just there to, they don't have that symbiotic relationship kind of thing. They just want to take, take, take. So I've learned to discern those and say, okay, but actually, where this is what I have, what you can help me with that, or you've got this service, fantastic. We can partner, we can work together on this. Um, so are all those ideas for you? Perhaps there's some are for your children, some are for your mentees. You know, what is the one for you based on a need that is screaming that you can just grab? Because remember, what we want to free is time. And we wanna, if you're gonna go into business, you're looking for money, wealth. Yeah. Where is the biggest hit? Where can you get the most money? I remember when I left banking, I was actually looking at my life coaching certification and CPD and NLP and all that. That was, I think, 2011. I did that. Just had my daughter, did all my hours to get like my advisor status, and I really loved it. I loved helping people deal with their fears of phobia, move and pivot, and absolutely enjoyed it. But I would find that after a 6 week session, I'm finished with them. They're gone. I need to find another client. I'm like, and how much I was charging then, it was like £50 a session. I'm thinking, okay, the most I can get if I've done a good job. is £300. How many do I need to keep it wasn't a good model for me. And I thought I'm done with banking. I hate banking, leave it. But actually, the demand for banking was there. The demand for people, oh, how do I get a mortgage? It's still there today. I want to get and there's money there for me. So I said, hold on a minute. If I can do the thing that maybe I don't enjoy doing, if I do 5 mortgages in a week, that frees up my time to actually do what I love to do because I love this and I I can still help my 6 people or whatever. Do you see what I mean? So it's you looking at your time wealth, time richness, and saying, listen, I want more. I want to be wealthy in time because you are a foundation builder, isn't it? You're not. You're the one who's starting out and saying, okay, there's no million inheritance coming from grandma or granddad. You're the one who's saying, listen, I'm going to make it happen. So you have that rare opportunity to to do the fine dancing. Most of the times it's like I think I cut down work to 3 days a week at the time. Then I kept my 2 days of coaching. That you know what I mean. But it gave me that time to do what I loved, get the confidence, get the results, feel good. And then now what I do is actually a combination. So many of my clients, I often say, gosh, this is life coaching. Oh, I'm so scared. Got a CCJ. I got this wrong. And then I'm like, okay, just calm down. It's okay. You know what I mean? So those skills are still being applied, but it's in a different setting. So question is, where is the money? Because if we can like what we like, we can have the ideas that we want to have. But if the money is not the best, then we're slogging again and we're suffering, and we don't want to do that. So there is the time to do the fanciful stuff, but what are your money makers? What are the big hits? Because when you hit the big river, the little estuaries, are fine. The little income streams that we get the money from, I absolutely, if I could spend all day writing ideas and writing, oh, fantastic. But it doesn't pay that well compared to anything else, right? But if I can make the money there, free the time to then do my writing and get my concepts down and know that this is a more long-term, slow haul generation of income. Does that make sense? Yeah. So if you're looking at your list, where are your big hitters? Where's the biggest amount of money gonna come from quickly, easily? So if it's in construction, sorry. Yeah, it's a question maybe for Daddy, and I don't know if it applies to you, Ngozi, but I think for what she said, where she's got loads of ideas, it's best to run with the one that's gonna free up your time quickly because it doesn't take as much to earn, rather than focus on the little, 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 little. Because if you're still tied to a 9 to 5, and then the little, little is bringing in a profit of £2, £3 per sale, you need to get volumes, and that can take time. So you need to start upfront with the big ticket hitters that will free up the time so that you can do what you want, what you're more passionate about later. Mm, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hmm. And you don't like to do that. You're not. You're not. You're not in that. You don't enjoy that. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Mhm. Have you ever, yeah, have you ever considered going to places like Riyadh and Doha where they're building? Okay, I know it's not a good time to talk about that now, but I know a lot of my good friends who have gone to, yeah, Riyadh where they're doing a lot of construction work, and their income, because it's tax-free income there as well, yeah, and they're like earning 20 times as much as they were earning here. Yeah. So in a year, they're buying two, three properties in a year. So you do that hit for 3, 4 years, you know? I don't know. I'm not, don't say, today told me to go there. And then things happen. No, I'm not advising that. But do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, yeah, because it could just be about the location. Mm, yeah, 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 yeah. Would you consider something like that? Yeah, yeah. Maybe something to research into. I remember this doctor and his wife years ago when I went traveling in my 20s, and they lived in Canada. They had the most amazing house. Even today, I'm like, that's my dream house. It was right by the ocean. Like my room had an ocean view, literally, but on the rock. It was nestled on the rock mountaintop, right? And he was she was a nurse and he was a surgeon, and he says, yeah, we just went to Saudi for 2 years, came back. It was, I think the house was like, back then I think it was like a $6 million house, cleared it off, saved up so much for pension, and then they were just now living, and they were in their 50s, early 50s, and I was like, come on, rather than being lumbered with a mortgage for 20, so it's just positioning. Where do you position yourself for what you carry? Where's the best place? And I'm not saying that area as well, but Africa also has a lot of construction going on, and lucrative companies, or your expertise could be seen as highly valued. Not, and I'm not saying go to Africa. I'm sure this nation has opportunities as well, but it's just like, seek them out, decide what is it that I need to earn to really make headway, and seek out that opportunity. Yeah. Goes, have you got any suggestions for her? Mm-hmm. 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 Thank you for that. Yeah, and you could sell it to all the schools, colleges, universities, isn't it? You could have a tiered product for different. Yeah. You could use Replit as well to do, like nowadays with AI, there's a lot of tools, isn't it, that can help you actually build it yourself. And you know how to build things because you're in IT anyway, isn't it? So, yeah. So, could you create an MVP that you could, let's say, test out, approach maybe a school, maybe goes to a school just to try out what would you like here, how would it work, you know what I mean? Because I think once you have the idea of something, it's now getting it out there, seeing would this be valuable, how much would you pay for this, do you know what I mean? um and then you're building something that is functionally for the people who are going to use it, because I think sometimes we have all these ideas in our head and we put it out there and then someone says nah, that was so unuser friendly and I wouldn't use it again, you know what I mean? So thank you for that. Mm, mm-hmm, 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 mm, 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 mm. And I can actually connect you to an amazing lady. She's one of my tech mentors. She's doing a program in August, starting in September. I think it's about £1,000, but actually, she's helping female techpreneurs, she calls them, who want to build something to take it from build to completion. Yeah. So, if you can fine tune what it is that you want to do your research now, have it together, and then you want like a team to walk with you and help you say, yep, this is it, let's get it out there. I think that that if you want that option, let me know and I'll connect you to her. Yeah. She just got an MBE last month, yeah. So she's done a lot of work with a lot of females in tech. So it's good people. Great. Okay. Fantastic. So guys, we have eked out. We know what it is that we want. Um, but we've slayed the giant of procrastination and double mindedness. It's out. And we're going to picture ourselves in our promised land. I'm going to do it for a few minutes. And I just want you to just take a deep breath in and out. And as you breathe in, just allow yourself to breathe in peace. What's in the box? Indian sweets. And potential, all the potential that you have, possibilities. Just take a deep breath in and out. And as you release your breath out, just let go of all anxieties, all those niggles, those worries of what if it doesn't work out. Breathing in deeply, let your lungs fill with oxygen. And as you take that air in, infuse your body with life, that abundant life, that full, vibrant, colorful existence. Breathing out and letting go of limitations, limited thinking, fears, any anxieties. Breathe in peace, purpose, possibilities. Just allow your breath to go in and out. Breathing deeply, filling your lungs with life, and letting go of all the fears, of the worries, anxieties, all the things that are not so clear. And as you do that, just begin to imagine your eyes also relaxing. Just feel your eyeballs letting go of the tension. Your eyes do so much work throughout the day, reading your screen, being careful where to step. Just let them relax too. Let the muscles around your eyes just relax. Let go of all tension around your eyes and let clarity begin to come. A sense of peace and clarity. Now I want you to begin to imagine that life, after you've taken the actions that you wanted to take, that you need to take, and you're on the other side, living out the accomplished goal. I want you to see what that looks like. Where exactly are you in the world? Who is with you? Just allow yourself to Let your mind's imagination just take you to that place where that thing that you've long been working on, thinking about, procrastinating on is finally fully in action. You've got the right teams, the right people around you. What can you see? How does it feel to be in that place? What emotions are you experiencing? Just let that imagery sink in. Let those feelings sink in. I'm going to count to three and bring you back into the room. But I want you to have this vision of what it will look like after you've done all that needs to be done. This imagery, I want it to stay and last with you because it is already done. Once your mind and your eyes can perceive it, all that's required now is the next steps and actions to accomplish it. Counting back. Three, two, one. Great. Does anyone want to share what that was like for them? Did you see anything? Did you visualize anything? Mm, 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 mm. Wow, come on, come on. Fantastic. Mm. You can have as many as you like. Yeah, don't limit yourself. It's dream state, isn't it? So, mm, 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 mm. Wow, beautiful. What feelings were evoked as you went through that exercise, and you saw what you saw? You said joy. Mm, 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 mm. Wow. Come, come on, come on. Wow. Even as you're sharing it, it's rubbing off on me as well. Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. And Julie, what was yours? Mm, 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 mhm, mm, mm. Come on. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah. Fast. Yeah. Mm, 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 mm. And you can continue this afterwards. You can continue this afterwards. But yeah, we're going to be doing a lot of these activations and meditations as we deal with each of the enemies. But I just wanted you to, you know, to experience what that's going to be like. So this is the life that is yours for the taking. And you now just need to take the steps to get there. So you know, what action are you going to take between now and next week to get this going? When we want to go on a holiday, you start to view, you go on love holidays, then you look at flights, then you think, oh, can I do this? And you look at destinations, then you pick one and you book it. If you're going to do a payment plan, you say, okay, I'll pay this over 3 months or 6 months. And once it's booked, it's happening, right? So, in the same way, you've seen where you want to be, but it requires some action. So this week, what are we going to do that will start to lead us to that vision coming to pass? And then in the bigger scheme, because I think the, just sharpening your clarity on, for you, it's pivoting. Where am I pivoting to? All the answers are within you. They're there. But because you're now focused on, okay, it's happening, but it's not happening here. Where is it happening? you know you'll get, there's a verse says, this is the way. You will hear a voice that says, this is the way, walk in it. Ask God, where should I pivot to? Can you show me this week? Because God is also a God of time. He owns all of time. And once, whatever you're meditating on, and what we've just done is a meditation, is you're meditating on this and saying, okay, I really want this, Lord. How is this going to be? Where is it going to be? How is this going to be? And then he might just say Kenya. And you think, okay, Kenya? you know? And then, can you confirm? Can you give me three confirmation that it's Kenya? And then you'll just go somewhere on a trip and you sit on the flight for someone and they say, oh, I'm from Kenya. And I'm into this. And you're like, huh? You know? So that's how it plays out. But yeah, so let's do that. Let's be intentional. Let's do that because that life is beautiful. That life, we have to experience it. We can't go to the other side without taking it. without taking it. And I'm just going to ask Goza to close in prayer for us today. Yeah. Mm, 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 mm. Amen. Whew, wow. That was awesome. Let's go and do what we need to do. The promised land is waiting for you and I. And I've got a special gift for you guys. I have done a workbook. Ha ha ha. A promised land prosperity workbook that you guys are getting for free. And um, I will ask you to do a review for me so that if I need to tweak it or if there's anything that are difficult on it, but I want this to be a guide on your journey. Um, just to let's move. We need to get into this promised land. Like I said, I almost didn't publish the book because I thought, this book is coming with war for real. But I'm glad I didn't pull it back. But I've sensed that it is a real thing, that there is the battle for you to access your promised land, and let's deal with the enemies. They're all within the land. Let's go get what's ours. Yeah. Thank you. Awesome. That's so awesome. Oh, when? When?